And there's this whole narrative that, oh, Asian girls are always with like white boys and they're getting colonized. And
the only reason why girls get the most hate is because of the internalized racism. A lot of Asian girls love coming on this platform and preaching that they love white men and that they'll never date an Asian guy, their own kind.
What kind of guys do you like?
White boys.
I'm not into Asian guys. Why not? The thing is, they're a lot shorter than I am, which is something that I can't.
And the thing is, majority of us guys don't care. We just hate that you guys just bash on your own race. Like, there's a huge difference between having a preference and like literally like hating on your own kind.
Common thing that many Asian women say, which is, I'm not attracted to Asian men because they look like my brother, uncle, etc. Article points out, do you ever see white women or Latina women saying, I can't date white or Latina men because they look like my brother or father? Here's the thing, all women should be able to date whoever they want, but you can date whoever you want without insulting the men of your own race. Ideology hurts our whole.
At the end of the day, just do you, girl. Whatever makes you happy. Just don't make us feel any less than.
Welcome to Seen and Heard podcast, where everyone should be seen and heard. I'm your host, Sharon, and our co-host, John, tonight. Hello.
Hey, how's it going? We're back. We're back.
So, tonight, our topic is relationship realities, realistic views on modern relationships and dating in 2023. Dating has changed a lot.
It has. It's way different than it was when mom and pops were around in the 50s and the 60s. It's a whole different ball game now.
Which we could say is maybe, in some cases is a good thing. I mean, it's a lot of nuances that could go there too, because in a lot of ways we wouldn't exist if they didn't get together. But there are a lot of private, structural, patriarchal things that went on behind the scenes that we weren't aware of as kids. That now, as adults, we have grown to learn and understand that it wasn't always strawberries and rainbows for our grandmas and moms and stuff like that, so
yeah, at one time it was like when different nationalities got together, it was like taboo. It was like it was unheard of. It's like, why would you do that? Stick to your own kind. And thankfully, people like me and Sharon can say that if people from different nationalities didn't get together, that we wouldn't be sitting here talking to you.
Right? So we definitely, especially with what I've been finding out in my DNA and my heritage, I had no idea, like, what Vietnamese, Filipino, African, Ivory Coast,
right?
So yeah, we wouldn't exist if it wasn't for the,
Well, even recent times, because if a mom, if she got together with the Cherokee guy, that people would be against it and they would have problems with it. But thankfully, she said, I'm going to do it anyway because I love the guy,
So there were so many nuances because, like what the guy said in the video, it especially what's going on in the Black community, because that was happened to be a Filipino guy and he was addressing a Asian woman or Asian ladies, but there's been like this issue in the Black community between Black men and Black women, where the Black men will go on these rants and these videos and these podcasts where they're bashing Black women. Okay, the issue is, first off, Black women do not care. We no, they don't care that you're dating outside your race. I mean, more power to you and whoever it is you're with.
Right.
But the problem comes in when you're bashing Black women to justify your relationship. That's a big problem.
Yeah, when you generalize your experiences and then say everybody is this way, then you're generalizing everybody in the same category when everybody's different. So then there's a problem. Like he was saying, it's okay to do what you want to do, but don't say everybody's the same because your experiences, and don't generalize everybody in the same category.
Yeah, just to have an excuse to bash them, because what that tells me is you're not secure enough within yourself and your relationship that you have to keep
Right.
bringing in people that don't even have anything to do with those relationships. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah. So these single men that saying, well, you're saying all of us are bad, but what about the good guys? You know, the good guys are running around, and you're saying all men are bad, and these people listening to you, and they're avoiding us when they don't need to. You had made some bad decisions, and you dated the worst of us, but don't say all of us are the same category. You
and then
know,
if you
do
want to,
what you want to do, but don't
right.
like leave a trail of blood behind you. You know.
But then if you really want to think about it, it's like, well, if you're having that many problems with those people, the issue may not be them. You know, if you want to
Right,
think
right.
critically about it, the issue may not be with the people that you're having problems with. It may be that, you might need some therapy or something. So
Right, yeah.
I'm just
If
saying. I'm just saying.
if you're looking somebody for somebody else to save you,
Uh,
and you got this pre-programmed sense of like this person's got to be perfect, and they've got to be perfect to save you. Well, that's a personal issue. You got to get over yourself before you even able to date somebody else, because nobody wants that kind of baggage. If you got some personal issues you got to work through, well, then work through them, and then
actually,
go looking for somebody to date. Because once you're ready to say I'm okay being me, and I want to have somebody, not because I need them, but because I want to have them around here. You know.
right, and just like what you said, it's like you can't if you're that unhappy or you can't find that within your own group and you're going outside of that, you're taking all those issues with you no matter where you go.
Right.
So it still may
Exactly.
be with you, it's setting a tone that is more than likely you, because no matter where you go,
Right.
there you'll be.
Yeah. Whatever baggage you bring behind you is gonna go
Mhm.
wherever you go. So if you're looking for somebody, if you're doing it for the right reasons, like you meet somebody and you fall in love, and then your personalities match and everything's good, well, that's wonderful. But if you're like saying I'm going to go here to a different group, thinking that they're different than the ones I went through before, like you were saying, it's like maybe they're not the problem. Maybe your choices are the problem, and the baggage you hold on your shoulder is your issue. And if you're
And
looking for somebody to accept it, and then somebody's willing to put up with it, well, I think that's short term. Because speaking from a man's point of view,
well, I'm gonna
you got
play this.
issues, we'll put up with it for a little while, but when you bring your issues up and start damaging the relationship, then that means you haven't dealt with your issues,
Right.
and that's a different issue, a different problem.
I want to
Does that
play
make
this
sense?
video.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to play this video of like one of
But
those.
don't say everybody from one nationality is bad.
Right.
It's that's ignorant. This means
Well,
that you got to do some
I want to play
self.
this video of one of the said guys in the black community that more like he's one of the examples that we're talking about where he goes outside of the country, which is fine. Again, fine, go do you. And he thinks that he's going to find the grass is greener on the other side, but
Oh yeah, it's kind of the same
he is
thing.
actually getting treated the way that a lot of these black guys treat black women or talk about black women. So
Right.
let's take a look at this
Okay.
video, and then we'll talk on the other side of this video here.
My question to you is, when are you going to learn about my culture? And give you an example. You call me fat and ugly in front of people.
Xấu.
What?
I say you are ugly, you are very.
You really said that? All right. In my culture, in America, that's rude, that's disrespectful, especially when a woman says that about the man that she's with.
Ah, really?
Yeah.
I don't
Oh yeah.
know. Sometimes I get
Don't
in with
humiliate somebody in
my
public.
kid, my friend, you ugly. อยู่นิ่งๆคมๆ and we in Vietnam my culture is not for but I don't know how is your country and now you share with me.
We could make, like, if we're alone and we're around family, we could make the jokes like that to each other. But in front of strangers, I'm a guest here. I seen one other person of my skin complexion here in the whole time I've been here. You're not accustomed to us, so when you say it, it sounds like it's an attack because we're not light or whatever it may be. I'm already a spectacle. I'm a man in this country, and they're already looking at me differently because I'm 6'4", I am dark, and when you say, "Oh, he's ugly," you start feeding the stereotype that if you're light-skinned black, you're prettier versus dark-skinned black. It's very hurtful and disrespectful. People are already looking at me. How am I supposed to feel when you talk in your language and then you go, I say to her, "You are ugly"? I don't have any context. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know it's a joke. It sounds like it's a fact to you. My question to you is,
As you said.
But the thing, okay, so before you say anything, so he is an example of these black men that are running around bashing black women, right? They're saying black women are not submissive enough. They're not
Is that what he
beautiful
said?
enough. Yeah,
Okay.
he's one of those type guys. So you notice the caption on there, it said passport bros are failing.
Right.
So there's a group of black guys that are traveling outside of the country, outside of the US. They're like, oh, we're going to get our passports and go find submissive women in other countries and blah 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 blah. So all of that they've dished out over here, right? And they've claimed that they can't find submissive women over here. They claim that the women over here are too masculine and too ugly and this and that. He's an example
Well,
of he's
he,
getting back what he did.
he's getting a taste of
so
his own medicine. He's
so
getting a taste of his
I'm
own
not saying,
medicine. Yeah.
yeah, and that's only one example though. There's more
Right.
than one example of this where the black guys particularly, and I'm speaking on that because
Yeah.
that's the community that I do identify with. So I can
Right.
speak on that and seeing over the years how how these passport bros have been gone all over the internet, and you've seen it too because we've talked about it. How dare they talk about bashing black women, saying that whether they're masculine, they're not submissive, they're not this, they're not that. So he
Well,
gets
yeah.
over there thinking that's going to be better for him, and look what
Right.
happened.
Well,
Look
yeah,
what
that's what happens when you generalize, right? If the women you're around are acting masculine, that's not all black women. That's just that small group
happened.
that you're associating with.
But the
And
masculine
and
trope
then
is
you go
a
to this
stereotype,
country and you
though.
think you're gonna find some submissive woman who's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, daddy, whatever."
But the masculine trope for
And
black
then they
women that
make fun of you
they're
because they're
claiming
taking
black.
advantage of you.
No, no, no,
Then
John, John.
you're
The
getting.
masculine trope that they're claiming and putting on black women is a stereotype. That is a
That's
stereotype
exactly
that
what I was
they use.
saying.
Yeah, that's
Is
a
you find a
stereotype.
small group that you're exposed to, that you limit yourself to, and then you want to judge all of them by that small group that you're hanging out with, and then that's a delusional thought, because
But the
there's no
point
such thing as all people are this and all people are
Right.
that.
But the point I'm trying to make is they're going off a complete stereotype. So that's a blanket stereotype that they use for all
Right.
black women, especially black women that they didn't get their way with. Because they probably tried some conning and Pookie and Ray May crap with the black women, and then the black women did not put up with it. So then they got to turn around and be all butthurt and go like, "Oh, well, that's why you're
Yeah.
so masculine and this and that, masculine that." So they're using that as a manipulative tactic and trying to
Oh yeah.
degrade black women in their image. But that has nothing to do with the
That's not
black
all
women
people.
are just as feminine as any other woman. You see what I'm
Well,
saying? Like they're just as
exactly,
feminine as any other woman.
exactly.
But he's getting a taste of his own medicine, and I don't feel
He
bad for him. I don't feel bad for those
he
bros.
like I
It's
was saying, it's like if all you're exposed to is a small group of people,
No, no, no.
you cannot say that all people are this because the ones that you knew, and then it's unrealistic for him to
Right.
assume that all
But
people was.
the blanket
But
mask.
fortunately for me, I've seen the bad spots, of people, and I've seen the good,
Mm,
so you can't just say this group represents everybody because everybody's different.
uh,
And it tells me that this guy might be uh, a nerd. He's
he's
got limited experience, and everything he sees, or maybe he's experienced, maybe he's getting his information from the media, and he sees movies that
no,
represent
he's
women in
he's
a bad
insecure.
light. Because in the movies they represent the black woman as this crackheads walking around going, "Hey,
Hi,
give me some money."
Mustafa.
No, but
Mustafa is in
but
the chat.
that's a false representation. If
Right.
he's buying into that and say, I'm going to go to Indonesia or wherever he's going, and then if you've had any experience and research, you'll know that these people are all about money, right? So
Right. Exactly.
they're going
So
to be submissive. And he comes out, are you going to pay me? And then now he's going to
they
do.
are trying to look out
And
for
he's
their
all surprised and like, well, I didn't expect this, but now you're getting a taste of your own medicine because you judged everybody, and you go to a place that's going to judge you, and you're like saying, "Well, hell, what the hell? I never expected that to happen. I thought they were just going to be submissive and say, yeah, you're the man.'"
So
And they're like saying,
Mustafa.
"Oh yeah, you're just a lanky dude." And they're like, he's like, "What the hell?"
So John, I'm gonna ask Mustafa here in the chat. Mustafa, so how is it in the UK? Where the let's see, you said here in the UK, girls look at TV and want men that look like. That's everywhere. That's everywhere. So yeah,
Yeah,
basically, we're talking about the
I
stereotype
know.
of
The
everybody.
stereotype, right?
Yeah, and that's what, like John just said. It's like TV and movies craft people to be like their idea of the perfect person, and that's not
Right.
reality. That's not
It's
reality.
unrealistic, and it can never be fulfilled because everybody's different. There's no two people that are alike in the whole world.
Right.
And when you generalize people, you dehumanize them and put them in a category.
Mhm.
And that's like nobody can live up to that. It's
Well,
like
and the thing
nobody's
about it is, if the person that you don't like that person, there is somebody out there that does like that person that you don't like. How about not trying
right.
to disrespect that person and just go on and find the person that you quote, fits your type, or
Exactly. If you
your
don't get
type.
along, just cut off conversation. Just don't talk to
Mhm.
each other anymore. You go your
Well,
way, and
well,
they'll go their
that's
way, and
a
then
little harsh
you
too,
just
because
move
I mean,
on.
you could be friends. You could be friends with somebody. If you're not like relationship
Well,
minded
yeah,
with a certain person, you could still be good friends with them.
yeah. It does depend on what kind of abuse they gave you. If they were abusive to you, then you just like move on. But if they were
Right,
like, well, we just don't get along and we agree to disagree, then you can be friends and say,
right,
well, hey, maybe I'm not the right person for you. You're not the right person for me. I wish you well, but we just can't get along and we move on. That's a
is,
different
it,
thing. But
is that
but
how
from
you?
that video, this guy, that's the thing is like you got more money than sense, right? You say, I'm gonna go out of the country. I'm gonna go to a different country expecting that somebody's gonna get along with me. And like, well, what did you do? I mean, you can't blame when you do that and find out that maybe the other person is not all to blame. Maybe it's mutual blame. And now you're in a different country, expecting people to say, "Oh yeah, I'll do your nails, and I'll cut your hair, and I'll shave your ass." And then you get there, and they're like saying, "You got some money?" You're like, "What the hell, money?"
and it
you know,
and
it's
even
like you
still,
got more money than sense. You lived in a sheltered life. where
Well,
reality has
not
no
just
place.
that though. We
Yeah.
can't buy into the which that may be the case, but then again, we don't know about how the family dynamic is. We do know that you have to if you go into another country to meet somebody and
Yeah.
to be with somebody, you have to make a point of learning that person's culture
Oh
because
yeah.
you definitely have to at least because it's kind of disrespectful if you're just going to go somewhere and you're going to expect that their environment to cater to you and you don't want to
Oh
learn
yeah.
anything about
Oh yeah.
their environment, their culture. I mean, it's going to seem
There's
rude.
that too. There's
Yeah.
that, and then plus there's common sense. Is this person scamming you, right? So you go overseas to meet this person, you get there, and then you're like expecting I'm gonna meet this beautiful woman, and then she's got Mr. Dangles, and like like, well, I thought you were a woman. Well, not really. Now you just spent $1,000 to go to that country, and now you're meeting Steve when you thought you're meeting Nancy.
Hold on a second. Hold that thought because I got this other video. I have this other video that I want to play of a guy that's actually he has some commentary on the video that we just saw. So I'm going to play this video and we're going to discuss it on the other side. Hold on a second.
Yo, this situation is hilarious. So y'all need to go watch my last video. But, just a summary, for those just tuning in. He caught his Vietnamese girlfriend texting some other dude. And when he asked her about it, she said, one, don't worry about what I got going on in my phone. And two, it's just a friend. So this whole situation, it has put a song in my heart. Family, if you know the song, you can sing along with Brujo. I wanna know your name, man. I wanna know if you got a man. I wanna know everything. I wanna know your number and if I can come over. I wanna know what you like. I wanna know so I can do it all right. But you're telling me he's just a friend. You're telling me he's just a friend. Oh, baby, you got what I need. But you say he's just a friend. And you say he's just a friend. Girl, I can be your fantasy. But you say he's just a friend. I gotta stop. Yo, this.
That wasn't the one I was looking
Is
for.
hilarious.
That's not the one I was looking for. So I have to keep I have to keep looking for the right one. So, okay, Mustafa, what time is it over there in the UK? You're still up early in the morning? Well, actually, we got started pretty late. It's it's after 2 o'clock here. We don't usually stay up late, uh, do we? I don't know what John's doing. Let me see here. I think okay. Here's a follow up video of. Let's see. Window. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna play this one.
First and foremost, shout out to Next Shark for sharing my video. And
That's the same dude.
And that goes for every community. Like that's the point we're trying to make tonight. That goes for every community because wherever you go, there you are. Especially if you've had consistent issues with with people, and the results always turn out the same, then there may be that may be time for some inner reflection. I'm just saying I'm
Well,
not a
yeah,
doctor.
that's the
Yeah,
case.
I'm not a doctor or is certified therapist or
No,
anything like
nor
that.
can
But
we claim to be.
yeah, but looking outside, at situations like that where people bounce around from different relationships and it always ends up the same, there may be something,
Yeah,
a common denominator that needs to be worked on. Is all I'm
right. Because if you have a consistency, like you're dating the same person with a different face, you're looking for the same qualities, and you meet the same people, and these people are abusive. Well, maybe your choices are the flaw, and not them. They're doing what they do, but maybe your choices are flaw. If you're looking for the same and you're making the same mistakes, looking for the same person, and then you look in your life and say, well, I just dated five different people, but they were the same person, right? With a different name and a different face, but they're doing the same cycle. Then you got to do some self searching and say, well, maybe my choices aren't the best. Then maybe I should try something different.
right. That's
Maybe I
right.
should try something different for a change.
And on that note, we're getting ready to close out because we're getting close to our end time here. So I'm gonna
All
put up
right.
this Q&A here. So if anybody out there like the show, if you would like to leave a comment, leave a question in the description comment box, leave one for me and John, or just a general question. If you
All
would
right.
call that number and leave a voicemail, we'll use your voicemail. If it's PG 13, of course, we'll use your voicemail in a future broadcast.
Right.
And we also have merchandise. So
They have
if
merchandise.
you're looking we are peer supported. So you can, let me see, I'm
And if
gonna,
you have a different topic you'd like to talk about, you can like
right, John. Like I'm just trying to make light of a bad situation and to kind of poke fun at it. So either
all right. Yeah.
you'd like to try some of my new rejected merchandise, or sort of support us with the podcast merchandise.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Feel
Just
free
let
to read it
let
all.
her know. She's got. If you got a topic you want to talk about, we'll do some research and we'll talk about it. And you're free to interact with us anytime you want to. So
And we
just
want to
like leave
talk
your
more about
comments.
relationships.
Exactly. If you want some more uh and detailed conversation about the same topic, then just let us know, and we'll do a part 2 or a part 3, whichever you want.
We might do that anyway because I had to pull up some more videos because some of those videos are really funny.
Yeah.
So we might do a part 2 here in the next couple of days.
Honestly speaking, that dude was kind of funny because he was like, I got here and I was expecting you to be like, oh, kissing my ass, and now you're like, tell
Right?
me I'm goofy ass motherfucker.
But like he
Pardon.
said, he spent
Sorry.
all
Can
that
we
money.
edit that part out?
Spent all that money, and he could have spent some of that money to go to
He's
therapy.
like, I wasn't expecting her to say, you're a dumbass.
He could have spent half of that money and went and gone to therapy and still had money left over to
Right. But
go
he
out.
spent like $2,000 to go to this country and expecting these people to be all like kissing his boots, and they're like making fun of him, and they're taking his money and
You know
saying,
what?
no, we
I
don't care about
really
you.
I appreciate that lady. I really appreciate that lady. If anything, he should have said thank you because at least she was
She's
being
being honest.
honest. She wasn't
She's being honest.
I mean, I would totally appreciate that. I mean, the honesty. You
Oh
gotta
yeah, most men appreciate blunt honesty so that we can deal with it. We don't like the sneaky stuff. We don't like you to be
I
like,
mean,
well, I don't want to hurt your feelings, but I'm gonna like lead you on for like a year and a half, and then say, well, I really never liked you to begin with. Well, you could have saved us some time if you just said, well, you know what, this ain't working. Then
I just
we
want
can move on.
I
Yeah.
just hope that that trip overseas was worth all that submission he was looking for.
I hope it was a good learning experience for him.
All that submission he was looking for overseas in another country.
I hope it was like a learning experience, and I hope he does some soul searching and saying, well, maybe I got to rethink all this. Maybe the problem is not them. Maybe the problem is me, and
You would
maybe I
think.
got something to
You would
work
think.
on.
Yeah, you would think. I don't know. We're gonna cut it off here, but yeah. So it got me thinking because
Yeah,
we're gonna have to do a part 2. So we're gonna do a part 2. So thank you everybody for joining us, and we'll see you guys on the
yeah.
part
Have a
2.
great night and
We will
sleep
be doing
well.
a part 2. Good
And talk to you
night.
next time. Bye.